What a perfect time to cover this weapon, especially after the buffs. It's been almost 2 months since my last weapon analysis, and I've been dying to get another one out for a while now. So, what better way to do it than with one of my best weapons? Katars are a controversial weapon. You'll see a lot of people calling them OP anytime they get a buff, although a majority of the Katar legends in the game currently aren't OP or even that good to begin with in my opinion. Do I think Katars are OP? No, I think Katars are in a fairly balanced state right now. If anything, maybe it could use a small nerf, a small buff, whatever would seem right. I don't think it's OP, and I don't think it's useless. Katars, in a personal view, are one of my favorite weapons to play, probably top 3. You would expect first or second because, you know, I main Queen Eye, but I've got a bit more to say about that later. For now, let's just hop straight into the attacks. I've got to say, Katars' attacks line up very well with each other in so many different ways, which is what makes playing the weapon feel so smooth. Katars Neutral Light is one of the weaker moves on Katars. It definitely isn't bad, as it can set up for team combos in a useful way, and even leads into other attacks like Recovery, Nair, or Dare. Neutral Light doesn't start off any true combos, but it is included in some. Trust me, the other moves on Katars go crazy with them. Katars Side Light is a great move on Katars, and leads into Side Light Down Light at any dex, Side Light Neutral Light, and while there are other true combos, they're super specific, and I won't be covering them. But these two are the 2 true combos worth learning, and they aren't too hard either. You could also do Side Light Dare, although that isn't true, just a neat follow-up in my opinion. Definitely one of the few moves that flows so well into Katars' kit. Katars Downlight doesn't seem like much, right? It's just a single hit, like upwards. It's really not much. But this attack does so much more than it seems. Of course, Side Light Downlight is a great use for it. There's another move that I think Downlight goes amazing with as well. It seems to be primarily used in that combo sense, as you can also do Downlight reads. Overall good grounded attacks on Katars though. Katar Nair is a pretty good attack on Katars by itself, but combo-wise, I personally don't think so. The only true combos I could see being useful are Nair Neutral Light, Nair Side Light, and Nair Downlight. Although I don't see them as ideal as other Katar combos. Just an add-on too, apparently Nair Dare is true at 7 or 8 decks. Did anyone know about this one? Because I've seriously never seen it mentioned anywhere. Overall, Nair is a good get-off-me move, but it goes into some weird combos as well. Katar Sair is honestly the least talked about move on Katars because, yeah, it's Katar Sair. There's really not any extremely notable true combos, although it's Katar's best move at killing next to Recovery. You definitely won't be using it in as many combos, but it's there for when you need it. Overall, decent move. Katar Dare. I'm gonna say this in the most honest way possible. This is the best Katar move. There's so much to get into with Dare. There's Dare Neutral Light. While I do think it's a very notable combo on Katars, being doable only at 9 decks, it's outclassed by what I think is one of the best combos in Brawlhalla. Dare Downlight. This combo is absolutely amazing, and it's only doable on one single legend, Lin Fei. I'm being 1000% serious. I'm dared to say this is better than the Katar Infinite, even on other Katar legends. But don't nerf this one, BMG, thanks. Dare Side Light, while not being a true combo, is an amazing combo to do on Katars, especially if you're going for the Katar Infinite. It combos into Side Light Downlight or Side Light Neutral Light as well, which is a nice 3-hit combo. Seriously, Dare is one of the best moves in Katar's kit. Katar Recovery and Ground Pound aren't very combo reliant, but are still good for what they do. Katar Recovery is... I mean, how else do I say it? It's self-explanatory. Most notable combo is Downlight Recovery, but that isn't true. And while we're on the topic, I'm gonna put it out there. Recovery is a stupid combo. I don't think it's useful in any way when compared to the rest of the Katar combos. I wouldn't even suggest doing it. It got nerfed anyways, and I don't even think it's true. Ground Pound is as self-explanatory as Recovery. Simply go down at a quick speed. No axe spinning or gauntlet steering included. Not an overpowered Ground Pound, also not super weak, but don't even get me started on all those dumb Ground Pound true combos that you can get done. They just aren't worth it. So, what makes Katars fun? I think the most fun part about it is how smooth it feels to use the weapon. All the moves on Katars flow so well into each other, more than a lot of other weapons. With that, the damage buildup with the weapon is very easy thanks to the string potential. Katars are a very aggressive weapon as well, forcing you to play more in the enemy's face. Although if you're an aggressive player, Katars are right down your alley. People might not like Katars for that reason, being all up in your enemy's face and all that. The weapon without practice can be a bit harder to pick up. It's very short range, and while it does do great in up-close gameplay, it struggles hardcore against other weapons like blasters or lance, being able to outspace Katars and all that. The main reason I think people don't like it might be due to its string potential. It's very satisfying to do, but it's very annoying to get hit by. If you don't know how to get out of these combos, Katars will, with honesty, destroy you each time. Knowing the right way to approach Katars is very important, and even picking up the weapon for a bit is a good way to learn how to counter it. Which segues right into the next section. Tips for Katars. Come on, I'm the Nye guy. Lady? Guy. I also pocket pick Lin Fei, so you better believe I've got the Katar tips for playing it mostly, but also some for fighting it. Tip number 1, utilize the true combos. Katars is a string weapon. The job it does best is hit your opponents into long combos if used correctly, or long strings, whichever one it is. I've already listed the true combos, but sidelight downlight is one of the main ones that does this. Reading dodges is just as important, because getting dodge reads makes a lot of combos true that normally aren't. You can imagine combos like Dare Sidelight, Downlight Dare, or Neutral Light Recovery, and so many more combos can be true if you catch enemy dodges correctly. Knowing what power you have when you catch a dodge is godlike almost. Tip number 2, Dexterity. Look, there really aren't many weapons or legends that need dex to be good. In fact, most weapons really don't have anything to do with dex, like, it kinda needs a rework. But with the exception of, I don't know, hammer and katars off the top of my head, some weapons only have 1 or 2 combos max that are only doable at highable dexterities, making dex useless on most weapons. Katars though, I think dex is super important on. Let's take Lin Fei for example. With Dex Dance, she has 9 dex, insane for a Katar legend. She gets Dare Downlight and Dare Neutral Light all to herself. It's the reason why I absolutely love playing her. There's Nair Sidelight, which is true at 5 dex, Nair Dare, which I think is true at 8 dex or higher, Ground Pound Recovery, not mentioned at all before, is actually true at 6 dex, but it's just not too honorable. There's a lot of useful dex-specific combos that I think are worth being looked at. Tip number 3, don't panic. I think this tip is the most useful for Katars out of any of the weapons, next to Scythe or Lance. Let's think real quick. If you're getting hit by a Katar string, you want to dodge out, right? As a normal player, you would think, yes, of course. The problem is, a good Katar player can really keep you tied into their strings. Don't dodge predictably, change up where you dodge, when you dodge, try jumping out instead of immediately wasting your dodge. I feel like the reason lower players struggle so much with Katars is for that reason. I admit as well, it can be annoying to fight a good Katar player, like I deal with it a lot too. Just don't panic dodge, use your dodges wisely, and you'll come out just fine. Tip number 4, Sig True Combos. There really aren't a lot for Katars if I'm being honest, but they're still true combos, so let's look at them. Asuri has an in Sig Downlight at lower damages, Lin Fei has side Sig Downlight at 0 damage only, and gravity cancelled down Sig Downlight, very specific. Lastly, Sentinel has down Sig Downlight at 0 damage. Really not a lot, it kinda makes you wish more Katar legends had more true combos. Imagine if Ember or Lucian had a side Sig true combo, or even worse, Nigh in Sig. Let's not think about it. Let's go on to the next section. Tier list wise, out of SA and B, I would put Katars at a very comfortable high A tier. This basically means that the weapon is mostly balanced in my eyes, but I think it would be fine if it got one more small nerf. The weapon has slowly been getting buffed and nerfed over the last year or two. Not anything absolutely huge, just tweaks to it that slightly changed some things. The most recent nerf really didn't do anything major, and the buff made the weapon so much better for lower dexterity legends. Even then, these buffs or nerfs don't really change how many people play the weapon. You don't see the weapon in pro play at all. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the Katar legends were really liked among the community overall. Sentinel is the lowest played legend in the game, and other Katar legends like Mako, Faye, Lucian aren't too far from the bottom either. The highest play rate Katar legend is Ember, and that's only because of the Battle Pass skin. As for the overall play rate, Katars is just in the middle. Although it doesn't really seem like Katars has its place in ranked at all. I know I hardly see it in Diamond, maybe I'm wrong and it's more seeable in Gold and Plat, but last time I checked, Gold was filled with Lance and Scythe, and Plat was filled with Scythe and Gauntlets. I mean, Scythe is just everywhere, but Katars really aren't. Look, this one might be an unpopular opinion, but it just feels like BMG didn't do a great job making the Katar legends fun. Not just for me, personally I find Nigh and Faye a crazy amount of fun, but none of the Katar legends really appeal to most players, like a lot of the other legends do. Nigh has 3 speed, which everybody hates. Lucian has 3 attack, which is criminally low. Mako has Greatsword, which is self-explanatory. Faye has Cannon and one of the worst stat lineups known to man, which is also self-explanatory. Caspian, well, he's secretly broken, but everyone thinks he sucks. Sentinel is just straight up ignored. Really, the only 3 Katar legends I see people like or play sometimes is Suri, Ragnar, and Ember. No hate to these legends, of course, but I also just don't find them fun, which is objective, of course. But I don't find any of their sig, stats, or weapon combo to be very fun to use at all. It's a shame because I really like Katars as a weapon, but some of the legends just don't work out for me. In the end, I still absolutely love Katars. I'm not going to suggest some super big change to the weapon or whatever, or the legends to make it quote-unquote more fun. All that stuff I said, while I personally think is true, is still my opinion, and everyone's going to have their own opinion. It really just depends on how you use the weapon. If you find it fun, it works for you, then that's super great. I just don't find that same excitement for a lot of the legends. For Katars alone though, it's a top 3 for mine competitively, just because I find Spear and Greatsword legends to be so much more fun. Thanks for watching this weapon analysis, and geez, it's been a while since I've done one. I'm rolling them out slow and steady, don't worry about that. Of course, until next time, keep on brawling.